Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to present about the contract exchange of USUFRUCT. The first one is introduction. Contract can be summarized to be an engagement and agreement between two persons, legally accepted, impact and binding manner, whereby it has the connection of an offer with an acceptance in a lawful manner, which marks its effect on the subject of that connection, and there is an expression of the matching between a positive proposal made by when the parties and the acceptance of the other party in a way which has an impact on the subject matter of the contract. Ijara in Islamic banking and finance can simply mean leasing or hiring. These two interpretations are used interchangeably in the literature, but the focus in this section on the former definition. The term ijara originates in the Arabic verb ajara, which denotes rewarding or recompensing. Literally, ijara is derived from the noun al-ajr, which means compensation, reward, consideration, return or counter value against the use of an object. From a strict definition, ijara refers to a contract utilize lawful benefits against a consideration. Al-Zuhairi, 2002. In ijara, the right to use the object is transferred to the hire, not its ownership. Ijara is a sale of usufruct, not a physical entity. Next is definition. Ijara is an alternative to conventional lease contract. Islam has allowed ijara contract to fulfill the different needs of the people. Sometimes people want to use and take benefits from an asset, but they are be able to own the asset or might not be interested own it due to various reasons. The contract of ijara gives them luxury to get the right of use without taking the ownership of an asset. Literally, ijara means compensation, consideration and return. Technically, it refers to a contract of hiring or renting an asset commodity to get benefits from its usufruct. In other words, ijara is a sale of usufruct or service in return for compensation. The subject matter of the ijara is the usufruct of an asset or the service that is rendered by an employee. Although ijara is a sale of the usufruct or service, but it is different from normal sale because in ijara contract only the position and usufruct of an asset if transferred to the lease, while the ownership remains with the leaser. Unlike the sale contract, where as both ownership and usufruct are transferred from the seller to the buyer. Usufruct is illegal right accorded to a person or party that confers the temporary right to use and derive income or benefit from someone else's property. It is a limited right that can be found in many mixed and civil law jurisdiction. A usufructuary is the person holding the property combines to property right of usus and fruct. Also refer to the right to use something directly without damaging or altering it, and fruct refers to the right to enjoy the fruit or the property being used, that is the profit from the real property by leasing it, selling crop produce, it charging admission to it or similar. Usufruct is illegal right accorded to a person or party that confers the temporary right to use and derive income or benefit from someone else's property. It is a limited right that can be found in many mixed and civil law jurisdiction. A usufructuary is the person holding the property combines to property right of usus and fruct. Also refer to the right to use something directly without damaging or altering it, and fruct refers to the right to enjoy the fruit or the property being used, that is the profit from the real property by leasing it, selling crop produce, it charging admission to it or similar.
The legal evidence of ijara from the Al-Quran, Surah Al-Qasas, verse 27. The above verse describe the story of Prophet Musa being hired for a certain period of time to undertake a specific task. The compensation for the task undertaken by the Prophet is deemed as payment for the outstanding dowry for his marriage. The conclusion, Islam has allowed exchanging contract to fulfill the different needs of the people. Sometimes people want to use and take benefit from an asset, but they are not be able to own the asset or might not be interested to own it due to various reasons. For instance, the contract of ijarah give them a luxury to get the right of use without taking the ownership of an asset. Literally, ijarah means compensation, consideration, and return. Technically, it refers to a contract of hiring or renting an asset or commodity to get benefit from its usufruct. In other words, ijarah is a sale of usufruct or service in return for compensation. Nowadays, ijarah contract has been frequently used in the modern Islamic banking system. If we look at the product of Islamic bank today, we find the contract of ijarah is very prominent. They offer a number of products based on the concept of ijarah, such as home financing, vehicle financing, service financing, and sukuk. Basically, ijarah or lease was not used as a mode of financing in its classical form. It was simply used to transfer the usufruct of a property from one person to another person for an agreed consideration. However, leasing is widely used and recognized as a mode of financing in prevalent financial system by the conventional banks and corporations. When Islamic banks and Islamic financial institutions were established in the recent part, they realized that ijarah can be used as Sharia-compliant mode of financing, and it can be structured as alternative to conventional lease. They start to structure Islamic banking product based on the concept of ijarah in order to fulfill the different needs of their customer. Islamic banks use ijarah to enable their customer to use durable goods and equipment such as ships, aircraft, heavy machine, plants, and vehicles. The customer have a luxury to use these durable goods without having to buy them. Usually, the contract of ijarah is for a long time, enough to cover the life of the asset.